Hello, Serge here with DJ after the third round of the Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill in Orlando, Florida. And kind of just a little windy day today, not too bad, but overall very hot, which I guess is what you got to expect playing in Orlando. So even par today. What about your round?
Today was another pretty solid day. I let a few shots get away from me and hit a few good putts again that didn't go in, and I just feel like I'm close. I feel like I'm really close to hopefully getting something going. It's just a matter of getting it going. I fully feel like I can go out tomorrow and throw a really nice low number at them, like 6 or 7 under. Obviously, the golf course, as I've said all week, is very demanding, but I feel like I'm on the brink of doing something really, really good. It's just a matter of getting some momentum going and doing it. But I'm excited about the way my game feels. It's very frustrating not to shoot better scores, but at the same time, I feel like it's right there. So some good things are happening, and hopefully a strong finish tomorrow, and we can come back with one more video on a positive note.
Yeah, my assessment of it is that basically putting has been hurting you a little bit in short game, but that's solid. I mean, you've made some up and downs that have just been phenomenal. I think since I've been here, I've seen you 4 for 4 out of bunkers, and 2 of them were buried lies, and most of them they're just tapping. So I think your short game is really doing well, and why?
No reasons why. I just think I've been working hard and trying to get things back to where they need to be, and like I said, I feel like I'm close. I'm still not executing all my shots the way I'd like to execute them when I'm thinking about the flight and the execution of the shot coming off the club and going to the hole. And I think once I really start executing shots the way I see in my mind and start feeling comfortable, I think everything will come into place. And of course, making some putts. I haven't really made any long putts this week, and certainly have missed my fair share of putts inside of 10 feet for birdies and pars alike, and hit a lot of good putts. I mean, the sad thing about saying that is I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm putting poorly. I don't feel like I'm putting poorly at all. I just don't feel like obviously there's no feel about it. The putts just aren't falling, and so I'm just going to keep trying to hit good putts, and eventually, hopefully, they'll do what they're supposed to do and go in the hole. Tomorrow would be a great day for that to happen.
Well, it's like this morning before we went out, we were standing on a putting green talking with Rocco, and I forget who the other player was there, and you were talking with them, and the comment came up that, well, I'm not making enough putts, and Rocco said, yeah, that's what every player says, and the other guy said the same thing. We're always saying we never make enough putts, but in all honesty, I really believe you're putting a lot better, and I think the swing's starting to fall into place. You're tightening it up. The finish is getting a lot better. I think it's just a good case of the swing really falling into place, getting good tempo going, and just the ball starting at the flag, and it'll stay there. And again, I do think you're close, so I think it's just a matter of staying confident and staying patient, right? Fairways and greens and patience, and I think the only thing that hurt you today really was you hit some drives that got into the rough. The rough's pretty deep, and you just had layouts and everything else. But a couple of par fives, if you'd have found the fairways, they were reachable, and I think that makes a big difference. And you shot what 38 2 over on the front. You came back 2 under on the back, and I really think the back's the heart of 9, is it not? Especially with the last 3.
It can be argued that it is. I think they're both very, very much fairly the same, but the back might be a shot harder. But the golf course itself is, from start to finish, it kind of just it presents a difficult challenge. It never really lets up. There are some places where you feel like you can be a little more aggressive, but you always have to be on your toes out there. And Arnold sets the golf course up so that we have to play like that. There's really nowhere you can let your guard down and just free swing out there. So it's a good test, and like I said, I feel great about the possibilities of a good round tomorrow. I feel like all things are headed in the right direction. It's just a matter of getting out there and making it happen. And everybody knows it's one thing to feel it, it's another thing to go out and do it. But the good news is I'm feeling it, so that makes the doing a little bit easier.
Yeah, and hopefully down the road the worm turns and you start to get a few more breaks. Like, what was it, on 14, you hit a great drive right down the middle, and it rolled 3 feet too far through the fairway into the rough.
Yeah, it's funny though, but on that particular hole, I was I was trying to, it was on 13.
13,
I think.
right, yeah.
But on that particular hole, I was trying to hit driver over the bunkers there to give myself an angle to that back pin. I figured it'd be easier to pitch across that green than to, lay up off the tee with an iron and try and hit a wedge or a 9-iron into that pin. And my idea worked. I actually didn't hit my drive hard enough. And it's funny, but my plan would have worked if I'd have hit the ball a little harder, but I ended up being right on a line where I was hitting right down the hazard line on that green. And it's a very difficult short hole for all of our members out there and our viewers. It's a great golf hole, but they had the pin in the back right, and I was trying to get a little creative there and just didn't quite hit my drive hard enough. But it was a great idea, and that's sometimes what you have to do. Sometimes you have to come up with some things on your own and say, I'm going to maybe gamble a little bit here. And for me, that was a little bit of a gamble, and it would have worked if I'd have hit it a little harder, but I made par nonetheless. It just it was fun to try though, and for those of you, I don't know if any of our folks out there played Bay Hill, but if you did, you know what I mean, that it was a little bit of a gamble.
If they're watching it on TV, that's the hole where you see it's a short par 4. Most guys lay up, and it's got all those big rocks on the right side of the green, and if you're in the fairway perfectly laid up, you're coming over those rocks, and the pin was what, maybe 8-10 feet on the green from the right edge.
Yeah.
Although that would have been pretty good if you were where you yesterday. You pulled it, hit the car path, and hit it green high, right in the middle of the green. That would have been a pretty good shot place to be.
No, Dad, that was on the front 9 on 5.
So I got my holes mixed up.
Yeah, you get your holes mixed up, but same thing with that hole there. Actually, I hit driver the last 2 days there, try to hit it over the bunkers and leave myself with a short little sand wedge to the green. And again, that's another situation where I'm taking a little bit of a gamble, and hopefully it'll pay off. But like I said, Arnold kind of keeps you on your toes, and he gives you those options. But it's one of those things where it's a risk reward, and you have to really pull off a good shot to get the reward.
So what do you think about tomorrow?
I think the conditions are going to be about the same. It should be a beautiful, warm, sunny day, and the wind I don't think is going to be a huge factor. So it's just a matter of, I just want to go out there and try and keep doing what I'm doing. And obviously, I hope I can execute a few more shots a little bit better than I have the first 3 days. But if I can go out there and have a killer day ball striking, I mean, I know 6 or 7 unders in the cards. It's just, I'm due, obviously, as everyone knows out there. It's been a very slow start for me for the year. It's been very frustrating, and I'm working hard. And golf's just a cruel game like that sometimes. And regardless of whether you're out there trying to beat your buddies on the weekend at the course for a few bucks, or you're out here doing what we're doing at our level, sometimes the game just doesn't want to cooperate, and that's kind of the way it's been for me. So I'm fighting the demons that are holding me down on the golf course, and I feel like I'm making some progress, and we'll just see if we can do one more day tomorrow.
All right, well, let's all root and cheer and hope and pray that it starts falling into place, because it's close, and sometimes the worst thing to be is close.
Yeah, it's frustrating because close is, you feel like you can reach out and touch it, but sometimes it just doesn't want to let you get a hold of it. But like I said, better to be close than far away.
Yeah, right, because you know it's coming, and the worm's going to turn one of these days. So
yeah,
tomorrow's a good start, and then you're going to Houston next week, right?
Houston next week. Hopefully we can, obviously barring a record-setting 59 tomorrow, I won't get that win, but to get into the Masters. But one last shot last week in Houston, so I'll keep working hard leading up to next week, and hopefully we can get a W and get into the Masters. That's obviously a big task, but hey, why not? Make some putts and hit some good shots, and there you go.
You won before, you can do it again.
That's right.
All you need is some lady luck with you, because in the end, it doesn't matter how good you play. In the end, you always need some good luck to win.
Absolutely. You got to play great golf. You got to make some putts, and you got to get the breaks. You're playing against the best players in the world, and there's 120 to 156 guys out there every week, depending on the field size. You're not going to win by just outplaying them for the most part. It happens, but very rarely. I mean, you have to outplay them and get the breaks, and that's just the way it is. It's just there's too much competition. The competition's too tight, and certainly, hopefully, we can start getting a little bit of lady luck on our side.
All right, well, I'll hope for that, and I don't know if we'll have time to get back to them tomorrow, but you can always check your newspaper in Golf Central, and you'll find out what DJ did, and hopefully he'll be talking to you all next week from Houston.
You bet.
Okay. That's it from DJ and the Surgeon. We'll be talking to y'all again soon.